Hey y'all, it's Pam with 44 Marketplace and Creative Finishes by Pam. And tonight we are going to talk about waxing and dry brushing and blending and shading and what's the best way to create the look that you're going for. I'm going to give everybody an extra minute to get on here. I know I haven't seen you in about a week. It's been kind of hectic. We've had some storms go through, as you know. Thankfully, we were blessed. We did not get hit like Florida. Our hearts and prayers go out to Florida. Hey! Hey, Claire! Hey, Stephanie! So we are going to do some little chatting tonight because I have had lots and lots and lots of questions in the last couple of weeks about the best way to get the look that you're going for when you got a piece. So I have some little things here that I purchased from a friend of mine. And so we're going to do this. And thank you to everybody who wished me happy birthday. I had the happiest of birthdays. So I did take a few days off, so I'm sorry I have not been online. We're going to make up for it now. If you notice green fur blowing around everywhere, I am in Grinch land right now. I don't know how many of you guys saw my Grinch that I posted on 44 Marketplace, but I make 10 or 12 of them every year, and I've already sold 8. So, so we have been working on Grinches all day today, and got dogs that are not feeling well, and kept grandsons tonight, so we are ready to go. Hey, Dina! All right, so what we're going to start with is, this is my piece. I have painted it with vintage duck egg, and the reason I chose this piece is the question I get all of the time is, how do you know what brush to use for what? Hey, Betty! And how do I know if I should blend or dry brush or wax? Well, first of all, hey, Catherine! For me, it's not an or. It's an and. Because you shouldn't have to choose whether you want to dry brush or blend or wax. Do all of the above. Hey, Designer Finishes. Hey, Cindy. So that's the thing. I chose this because it's got a lot of detail, and I want you to see the way that you can do it. And I have not given away a prize in the past week. So, since I haven't been online in a week and I haven't given away a prize, like and share, because we are going to give away prizes. Somebody is going to get an 8-ounce paint in the Dixie Belle color of their choice. And also, if we get 50 shares, we're going to make it a big prize. I'm going to give somebody 2 8-ounce paints and a synthetic brush. So, we're going to have a fun night, and you know me, it's not going to take long. I don't like to chat too much. I want to show you what we're doing. Okay, so what we're going to start with is, you know me and my Mr. Bottle, got to have that. We're going to start with a little bit of blending. I am going to use Sandbar to bring out a little bit of a highlight on this because I want you to see what I'm talking about. Right now, we just have our little basic vintage duck egg, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to spray a little bit of our water, and we're going to work on this end down here because we're going to do a little bit of a blend, but we're also going to do some dry brushing. All right, so now you can see I've got a big swirl down here on the end. We're going to put just a little bit of, we're going to put this sandbar in here. Now, it looks like I've put a lot in there, and I did, but we're going to go back over it, and I want you to see what it's going to look like. All right, so we're going to see if I can work this sitting up. Let me see if you guys can see it. If I put this down, I'm going to drop you down. Don't let me make you sit moving you around. I don't like for a camera to move either. All right, now you can see what I'm doing. I'll tell it to focus in on that. All right, so now we're going to add a little bit of our original color, which is laying flat now, which is vintage duck egg, okay? Because that's what I want the majority of it to be, but I do want a little bit of a blend here and there. I want it to have a little bit of a whitewashed feel to it. because we're going to go back in and do something else later after this dries up a little. I have us a little fan blowing on here so that it can keep me where I want it to be. So can you guys see what I've done there? We've lightened that up just a little bit because that's kind of the look that I'm going for with that. Let's see. If I spin you around, maybe that shows a little better. You can see my 4 Health dog food. All right, so we're going to put just a little bit more of the vintage duck egg in here. And I want it to blend. We're going to have to hold with one hand and blend with the other. I'm jostling it just a little too much for it to sit up there. All right. So now we've added a little bit of our vintage duck egg back in there, but you can see the lighter color. I'm going to top this edge because I want you to get a feel for what it's like to have all of the colors. Can you guys see that? All right, now remember, we're giving away prizes tonight, 50 shares, and we're going to make it a really great prize because I want you guys to see the difference in this. All right. So now I want to get a little bit of this light color out, and of course, you know, I paint on cardboard so that I can flop my brush everywhere because that's just what I do. All right, so now we're going to leave this alone for the time being and let it kind of dry up a little, and we're going to slide it down so you can see our next victim. Our next victim we are going to do some dry brushing on, okay? All right, so those of you who watch me very often know that I love me some Dixie Belle coffee bean. Oh my gee, it's the bomb diggity. Coffee bean, I would put this stuff on everything. You know, like Frank's Red Hot? Yeah, that is so me. So we are going to add some detail to this, and you can see it's not a precise science with me. I know some of you want to make it out to be rocket science, and that's why you're artists and I'm not. I am all about doing something a little organic. I want it to feel good. I want it to give me the look that I'm going for, but I want you guys to see what it's like for it to be dry brushed. If you don't know, thank you. Donna, don't you love coffee bean? And I greatly appreciate the order. I got to tell you, I was a little slow in shipping the end of the week last week with the storm and then my birthday and everything, but we are back on track now, and I appreciate everybody's patience. All right, so you see that when you dry brush, you literally only get paint in the very, very tips of your raggedy old brush. And I know a lot of you just throw these brushes away, but I am frugal to a fault. And I like me some brushes that are nappy for my dry brushing because they're perfect. Okay, can you guys see what we've done to this so far? Let me back my wax box up. There you go. We have made this slightly darker, but that's not all we're going to do. We have dry brushed a little bit, but we're going to go back in and add some highlights, okay? Because I don't want it to be just a simple one color dry brush. And with a dry brush, it's almost dry on contact because literally you only get so little paint that it's dry upon contact. And right now, I'm out on my screen porch, my happy place, you know, so I've got a fan blowing on us because, Lord have mercy, it was hotter than I don't know what today. I thought it was going to be a little cooler, and it was not a little cooler. All right, so now we've got this, and you can see the definition. But that's just where we're going to leave it and let it dry for a minute right there, and we're going to move down here to the next spot. Okay, this is shading and blending. This is dry brushing. And now we're going to go with some wax down here because I want you guys to see the difference in the way it behaves, okay? And like I said, if you see green fur blowing around, I'm so sorry. I have green fur everywhere. It's all over my dogs. It's everywhere. But that's what it'll be until these 12 or so Grinches get finished, and that's where we'll be. All right, now we're going to use Best Dang Wax in brown, okay? Oh, yeah, can you hear the dog snoring? There's the upbeat. All right, so now we're going to go in with the wax. I don't know if you have used Dixie Belle wax, but it is amazeballs. And I am not a wax person by any means. But it is simply amazeballs. I mean, unbelievably amazing. Okay, we're going to highlight this. There's my little cloth. And I know my cloth looks sad, but it's awesome. All right. So we're going to wipe it back. Now, when you're waxing or glazing or dry brushing, you can do it one of two ways. You can either hit the high points and make it highlights like we did here, or you can rub it all down in the creases and wipe it off the top and put it in the low lights. It's totally up to you. It depends on what look you're going for. This, we're going to go a little bit more down in here to get a little bit in the creases, because I want you to see what it looks like. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to put some flipping gilding wax on here. Don't you love that stuff? I mean to tell you, I'm in love with gilding wax. And I am not a person who cares for glitter or anything. I like for it to kind of be what it is. But, oh, I love me some gilding wax. And speaking of glitter, guess what I've got coming in soon? Glitter wax. I sure do. It is coming soon. So keep an eye out. If you like glitter, it is gorgeous and it smells good too. So you are going to love it. I've got a whole new shipment of brushes coming in. So if you guys are looking for brushes, I have them coming finally. I've been out of stock on a few of them. So those of you who wanted to order, they will be back in stock in a couple of days. All right. So now what we've done, gotta wipe it back. And you know, some of what you do is the way you wipe back. You can wipe back a little, you can wipe back a lot. It's totally up to you as to which way you want to do it. This one I'm wiping back so that most of my darkness stays down in the crevices. I want the top of it wiped back because the top of it, we are going to go back into there with our gilding wax and give it some highlights, because we want it to have a little pizzazz, you know? All right, so this is where we are now. Can you guys see that? I don't know if it gives you a good enough light. So this is where it is with our wax now, okay? Oh, I can't wait for you to see the glitter wax. It's going to be the bomb diggity. All right, this is the one that we just worked on, and we put our coffee bean on there, and then we put a little touch of our sandbar. Sorry, my mind went blank. All right. Those of you who are local, guess what I've got coming in? Some CBD oil. We've got to talk about it. You are going to love it. It keeps you from having these brain cramps that I have. All right, so I am going to put just a little bit darker on here because I want a little bit more of it to show up. And now you can wipe it back, you can blend it. There's a lot of things you can do. But I just really mainly want the darkness and the depth, okay? Because that is really what I'm going for. I like for it to have some age to it, almost like a patina type feel. And like I say, we're just hitting those high points. We're not trying to get the whole thing. We're just hitting the high points. And when you see me do this, you can see there's not a whole lot of, you don't have to worry so much about where your brush is or whatever. If you're just using a little bit, the dry brush method, it doesn't put enough on there quickly enough to mess up your project. Do you love CBD oils? Well, I've got some coming in. I am thrilled about it. I'm actually getting them in for the dogs and for me, because you know I have a dog that has allergies and I have one that has high anxiety, so we are getting in CBD oil for that. All right, so this is where we are with that one. Now we're going to go back to our blended piece and see how dry it is. It is not quite dry enough, so we're going to mess with this one a little bit more. All right, so now this one that we were working on, let me move us down a little. This one that we were working on down here, All right, this one has our wax on it. Now we're going to pull out our gilding wax. I hope it's here. I am the world's worst at leaving my stuff everywhere. So, what do we vote for? CBD oils are great for lots of things. They are very helpful if you have aches and pains. They help you with memory, which I could always use. They also help you with swelling. I mean, there's a lot of things that they're great for. Well, I am missing the one that I wanted, but we are going to use bronze. I thought I had copper, but we're going to use bronze. So, yes, it is hemp oil. And no, it is not marijuana. It is a different plant. Okay, there we go. All right, let's look at this. We're going to add this on here. Now, can you see from your vantage point how much nicer this looks with that on there? Can you see what we just did by adding that to this detail? We're going to add it here. Look at that. See, and all we did was add a little bit of wax and a little bit of gilding wax. And I think a lot of people settle for paint sometimes because they're nervous about it. And there's no reason to be nervous. It's as simple as just keep adding to. Don't paint over it. Add to it. You can always make it look better. All right. And since I took a week off, anybody who orders between, what is today, Tuesday? Between now and Friday night at midnight, if you spend $75 or more, I'll make the code live once this live is over. You get a free 8-ounce paint in your choice of color. All right, so here we are. We did it that way. Now this one down here, we are going to put gilding wax on, but I want it to be a little bit different. We are going to use brushes. I've got some great angled brushes that I love to use. Question is, did I bring them home with me? Because I have my stuff spread out to Kingdom Come. And I don't see the one I want. Yes, we'll use this one. It's not the big one that I wanted, but we're going to use this one. All right, now we're going to take some black gilding wax because a lot of times, yes, CBD oil is cannabis without the THC. Because anybody that knows me knows I do not need any drugs. I am crazy enough all by myself. I would be, oh Lord have mercy, I can't even imagine my brain on drugs. I would be so dangerous. I would hurt me and several other people being so crazy. All right, so we're going to do that. I want a little bit more than this is giving me. So we're going to dip it in here. Oh yeah, that's more of what I wanted right there. Now you are going to love what this does for this. This gives it some drama. I know you guys have heard me say that before, but black gilding wax adds a little bit of drama to everything I put it on. And I mean, I'm all about giving it a little bit. I don't want any drama on Facebook, but I sure do like drama in my pieces. I gotta tell you. Love me some drama in my pieces. And I think a lot of you worry about getting too much, but it gives it some personality. Don't just paint it. Look at that. Can you guys see what that looks like now? We put coffee bean on there, we put a little bit of sandbar, and then we went back in with our black gilding wax. And see, it just gives it, let's just give it some more, you know? Now you can see what it looks like. And see, that centerpiece is, it would be a gorgeous piece. It would just offset any piece of furniture. That would just be fabulous. If that was the centerpiece of your piece of furniture, you would love that. And it was simple. You saw me. I'm talking more than I'm painting. So you know how easy it's got to be. If I can sit here in front of you guys like a crazy person and do it, then you know. Okay, so now this one is beautiful. We blended it, and we've got our light color in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, since we did our blend, we're going to take a little bit of our coffee bean, because even though we did put our blend on there, we're going to add a little bit of a dry brush to give this a little bit of something, something. Oh yeah, that's much better. Now we're just hitting the top of this, and we are dry brushing over a blend. That's what I told you guys. You don't have to choose. I think a lot of people think, well, it has to be wax or gilding wax or a blend or something. And I say, let's just put it all on there. You know what I'm saying? All right, are y'all commenting and tagging friends and sharing? Because the more shares we get, the bigger this prize is going to be. Because like I say, I took a week away from lives because I was just trying to catch up on custom work before I went out of town for the birthday. And then the storm happened. I didn't anticipate taking a whole week, but we had the storm come in, and I have dogs with anxiety. It was just a mess. All right, so now what we've done here. All right. Oh, yeah, the oils are amazing. Hey, Carmen, thanks for tuning in. All right, so now what we did on this end, I don't know if you guys can see well, but we blended it, and we just used vintage duck egg with sandbar because it's a nice neutral to go over this, and we kind of blended it so that it was light in the crevices. You can see the light areas up there. Now, I may yet go back in and make a little bit more light up here just because I can. I mean, for no other reason. I love my Paint Pixie French Round when I'm doing my blends. And I think a lot of people think you only use it for blending, but I like to use it for dry brushing and everything. I mean, it's a great all-around brush. A lot of times I have my others here so you can see. Something that gets in a lot of details is the large round. I love the Dixie Belle Synthetics. I mean, they are amazing. This is probably my favorite one. The small oval for getting into details. But my next favorite is my Paint Pixie French Round. And it's just crazy amazing for getting into the crevices and everything. All right. So, you know what I think we're going to do? There it is. I think we're going to dry brush a little bit of this vintage duck egg back over the top, so it gives it one more element of just a little touch of the light over the dark, over the blend. We want it to have enough of a tone on tone that it's interesting, that when people look at it, they think, wow, what did she do there? Whether it's a positive wow or a negative wow, we want it to be a wow. All right, so there we go. What do you think? We went back in and we put a little bit of that over there. I'll take pictures in better light tomorrow so you guys can see what it is end to end. But this end we did a blend. And then we, oh yeah, turquoise teal. I'll put some of that over it when it dries. That's a great idea. And then the center, we did dry brushing. And then we did a little bit of the black gilding wax over, okay? And then down here, we did our wax. We did our brown wax. And then I did the bronze gilding wax over. I was going to do hammered copper, but for some reason I've probably misplaced it again. And so we did bronze over it. And like I say, I may yet put a little bit of my copper, my black over it, because I do like the definition and the drama that black gives. It gives just a little, I don't know why, I think it gives a little bit more definition, but it does. It just defines your area a little bit more. And it doesn't take much of any of them. So, again, thanks for you guys tuning in. I'm going to try to go live almost every day this week. But I do want to touch base with you and show you the different things. And if you have questions about brushes, hit me up. Because I have, I think, 20 or 30 of these right here. And we're going to do some practice painting on there. I have classes at the Cotton Depot this weekend. If you take my blending class on Saturday at the Cotton Depot, we're going to work on, you'll get to take one of these home with you. But I will tell you that the flat brushes, I don't like them as well for blending, but I do like them for getting the paint in the crevices. I can't say enough good things about the Dixie Belle synthetics, but now I also like the synthetic ovals from Chalk Pro, as well as the synthetic angle brushes from Chalk Pro. The 2-inch is probably my favorite. Waxes that I used. Yes, I used Dixie Belle Brown Wax. You can't read my label because it's so messy. Dixie Belle Brown Wax on the end, and then I used Dixie Belle's Black Gilding Wax, and not green patina. I used Bronze Gilding Wax, and then I think on this end piece, when it dries, I'm going to use some of the turquoise teal. I think that, you're right, that would be a beautiful addition to this. So when you guys see it tomorrow, you'll definitely get to see what it looks like, and we'll kind of go over it. But I am going to leave it in the 3 stages so you can see what it's like, and I'll label it so you can know what we did to get what finish. If you guys have questions, please hit me up on Facebook anytime. Find your local retailer. They carry 90% of these products. Most of them probably carry the Mr. bottle that I have to paint. So if you have questions, hit me up. Find your local retailer, whatever works best for you. But I do sell online, and I ship all over the United States every day. So if you're looking for something specific, send me a message. Look on my website, and we will put up pictures of this tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed the dog snoring and the crickets buzzing. Y'all have a great evening.